always tell you that anytime the cameras go live, I wish you were in the studio with me listening to what we discussed with my guests before we get into the conversations. But it's always a pleasure to come here. This is The Dish on MX24. My name is Miriam Mensah. We are about to have another incredible session, conversations that will change your life forever, conversations that are eye-opening, and conversations that will get you thinking even long after the show. My name is Miriam Mensah. This show is proudly brought you by GC Brand, the GC brand. The brand that cares about you and your family, from baby to daddy to mommy, everyone is taken care of. And I'm going to run you through the products they have that will take care of your family thoroughly. And also to Telecel Cash. It says your money deserves the safest home. And if you're working as hard as you're working, you know you don't want to play with your money. It has to be in a safe space, and Telecel Cash offers just that to you. We're going to be hearing from them very soon. But again, if you're just joining in, you made the right choice, because this conversation is about to change your life completely. Now, one thing I like to do every single time we come live is to walk you through the room for you to understand what it is that we do over here on The Dish. And so The Dish is a vibrant and inspiring show that celebrates women, their stories, and their impact. And of course, the impact they make as well. Each week, we bring a conversation that highlights purpose, leadership, and the powerful ways women are shaping their communities. This season, our theme is women who give, of course, to your communities that gain. Of course, they gain because when women grow and lead, their entire communities grow with them. Have you ever met a woman who says that, me, myself, and I? Never. Even when they are saying, shouting, posting on social media that it's a me season. It's really not a me season for any woman, because innately we want to take care of another person, whether it's the husband, whether it's the children, whether it's the brothers, whether it's the sisters. We're always in the mood to give. But this time, we're also encouraging the givers that in giving, note that you're not left alone. We see you, and you're definitely going to gain by seeing your communities thrive. Now, today, my guest is none other. I want to do what I used to do that I've been forbidden, to ever do in my life. My guest this evening is Belinda Boadu, and she's a multi-passionate entrepreneur, consultant, educator, community builder, and mother of three. Initially, I thought it was two. Yes. Why do I think I have a say in someone's life? Let's move forward. Well, she's a mother of three whose work reflects her love for people, purpose, business, and impact. She is the founder and managing director of Impart and Impact, a consultancy that supports individuals and organizations through training, business consulting, education, and personal development. She's also the founder and CEO of Atana Enterprise, a growing ecosystem of communities designed to empower, connect, and inspire people through conversations, events, mentorship, and shared growth. Belinda's entrepreneur interests cut across consulting, education, food, brand development, community leadership, and real estate. Through her premium food brand, Belinda Boadu Cooking, she merges her love for flavor and excellence to create memorable culinary experiences. Ladies and gentlemen, Belinda Boadu. This is where you clap, shout, and roll on the floor. Good evening. It's good to meet you in person.
Good to meet you too.
I guess Ghanaians know you as Mrs. Giovanni. And
Some might do.
in fact, I'm telling you, do you get that walking in time like, is that Giovanni's wife?
Yes.
Do you get that?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm
Happens a
sure,
lot.
because your husband is an intentional man who puts you out there. Before I came into the public space, I know I told myself that if I ever marry a man who was a public figure, because my father is in people's faces, I would not let him put me out there. That's what I said to myself until I realized that I was the one who was supposed to become.
Oh.
Yeah.
If only you had known.
If only.
God has a good sense of humor.
I know, doesn't he? I was running my mouth. I mean, this is your life that you're living. Because my dad likes to show mommy off, right?
Right.
And I was like, the way you're praising me, I'll keep going, no. I
Look
said,
at
no.
you now. If only you
If
knew.
only I knew. If
Mm-hmm.
only I knew. Well, again, you're welcome. You're welcome to the
Thank
show. It's
you.
good to have you seated right across me. It's a complete honor. I
That's
didn't think it
mine.
was going to happen soon, but call my mother and tell her that I've arrived. When I get to her house, I don't get to wash bowls. I don't get to walk around like a slave.
That's
I'm a
hilarious.
superstar. But let's jump right into it, right? Our conversation this day is going to be looking at different aspects and facets of your life.
Yeah.
Let's start from the part where you're a mother.
Yeah.
Before Mr. Giovanni Caleb decided to whisk you from your parents' home and turn you into his wife and a mother, what was life like?
Oh, that's an interesting one. Maybe it was a lot simpler. I can put it that way. I had a lot more time to consider frivolities.
Yes.
But now it's certainly a lot more focused. I think I was equally engaged with a lot of the things that I'm doing now. So a lot of my consulting business existed before we met.
Yeah.
Mind you, Atana did come out of me becoming a mother initially, so I can't claim that. But there's a lot of things that I was already doing. But once motherhood and marriage and all of those wonderful things come into play, everything becomes a lot more focused, a lot more intense, a lot more purpose-driven too, I would say. Yeah.
I would have thrown this question all the way to the back, but I don't want to forget it. So we already started talking about it earlier, and so I want us to just jump right into it. What do you say of women? Because I wanted to connect it to the woman you've become now.
Okay.
You were a woman who was, on your own, doing your own things, living for you
Yeah.
and building you.
Yep.
And then now you become one that lives for other people. You are because they are. If anything happens to them right now, you will not exist. Like you yourself as a person, you will just start losing
You
because
fizzle
then
out,
yeah. Because then you've built your life around them as well, and you're living with them. Before that, let's compare these situations. Before now, what would you have said proving yourself to people meant to you then and now? Do you subscribe to people who say that I'm in that journey of, I have nothing to prove to nobody? You like me for who I am, or go to your father's house? What do you say about that context of people wanting to prove themselves or not?
Okay, so I guess there's sort of two parts to this question. And I think number one, women intrinsically always feel the need to prove something, whether we are admitting it or not. I think there is constant narration. We are social creatures by nature, right? So there's a constant narrative going on in the back of our heads. That means we are proving something to someone, even if it's in the most minuscule way. So you are someone's daughter, you are someone's sister, you are someone's friend. You have to impress because maybe you're pursuing your education in some way, shape, or form. Maybe you're in a career and you're being compared, whether you like it or not, to your colleagues, to males. So we are constantly having to prove ourselves in some way, shape, or form. I understand when people get to a point where they're like, I have nothing to prove, I'm just living for me. And to an extent, I somehow agree with that. There needs to come a point in your life where you're not doing things because of other people and you're doing things for yourself. I feel like I've very much arrived at that crossroads myself, where it's like, okay, I've done the wholehearted, nurturing, very dedicated that. It's now time to think a little bit more about myself and do things that are going to push me forward. But really, whether I like to even admit it to myself or not, the reason why I'm pursuing that is to prove myself to my children. So you are constantly proving something to someone. Sometimes it's even proving to yourself. Part of a lot of what I'm doing is to prove to myself that I can do it. When others say, oh, you've got a lot on your plate, there's no way you can handle X, Y, Z, some bell in my head goes, well, let's
Wow,
see about
watch
that.
me.
So I think, subconsciously, we're always proving something to someone, even if it's to ourselves, even if it's to our parents, even if it's to our siblings, to our children. But realistically, that's not even a bad thing. We are examples. So you are being looked at, whether you know it or not. You're being observed. So living a life that is exemplary to others around you is always going to be a positive thing. So I think that's my stance on
Oh,
that one.
beautiful. And you have broken it down in a way that even if for someone they are in that phase of being, I don't want to live for people. I don't want I don't need anybody's approval. If it works for me, then I'm going to go for it.
Yep.
I'd also understand that it's a phase. Then if it fizzles out, don't be too hard on yourself, because then you probably have met someone again. For instance, you're in that season, and then you meet someone that you fall in love with.
Right.
And now you want to now come and say, "Oh, I have nothing to prove to you." No, you want them to look at you in a way that makes them proud that they're here.
Yeah.
And again, that's a woman thing.
And prove it to yourself first and foremost.
Absolutely.
I think like you need to put, how would you feel about yourself in 5 years' time? I think there's this trend going on where people are leaving videos for themselves. It might not be new, but they're leaving videos for themselves so they can look at it again in 3 years' time. In 3 years' time, in a year's time, in 6 months' time, how do you want to see your own development? You want to be proud of yourself. What are the things that are going to make you proud of yourself? Outline those clearly to yourself, because if they matter to you, they're somehow going to matter to someone else as well. So it's not a bad thing to decide that you have nothing to prove, you're doing things for you. By all means, do that, but let those things be things that you can look back on and be very proud of. And then if you don't have kids yet, or even if that's not something that's crossing your mind, but in future, anyone that looks back on your journey can say, wow, this is a beautiful journey worth emulating.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You're too good. Anyway, let's get into your professional life. Now, your journey cuts across consulting, education, food community building, and real estate. What would you say is the thread, is the thread that connects all that you work on to you?
I would say the connection is the desire to make an impact through service. So what you find through all of those things is that I want people to experience me in a way that's going to change their lives. I don't want you to spend any time with me and walk out the same. And sometimes I'm even surprised as to how it works out. So I want to be impactful. If it's a 5-minute conversation I'm having with you, I want it to be impactful. If I'm cooking a meal for you, I want it to be the best meal you've ever had. If you're coming across me because you've come across me being a homeschooling mom, you're coming across some of my materials, I want it to be a good influence to how you decide you're going to take on educating your child, helping them with their homework. So it's really trying to make an impact, and that's where, some of the names for my businesses come from, through service. And I think for me, it's something I'm extremely passionate about. And I think my purpose very much runs through that, being able to change lives in small ways, in minuscule ways, in massive ways when the opportunity presents themselves, but leaving people changed and transformed when they come across any of my brands, or even in just having a chat with me.
And I guess I am getting that. You see, my voice is beginning to drop, because when I start learning, then I exhale, and then I mellow down, and I try to listen, because these women, you people. Wow. I picked up in your earlier submission that you're homeschooling your children.
Yes.
Why?
Oh.
And why in an inquisition way?
No. I'm saying because there's like the short version, there's the long version. I'll take you through the short version.
Yeah.
So my background was, part of the Impart and Impact business was providing education through various means. So through home tuition, through providing educational curriculums and tuition programs for children. So at some point I realized that the impact this made was very positive. So I really wanted to spend my the formative lives of my children with them. So the idea was like, okay, maybe the first 2 years, it's very good to have them at home so you can build that equilibrium, build a very solid foundation for them from which they can grow. But I realized that the more I did it, the more I really enjoyed it, the more I began to see the impact that I was making, because you start to see that I have kids that speak extremely early, like 10 months, we're having full-blown conversations. So you start to see that everything you're putting into them, you're getting out like times 10, times 20, times 50. So I began to really enjoy it. And then I thought, okay, let's do another year. Let's do another year. Let's do another year. So cumulatively, I've now been homeschooling my kids for 17 years. I think it comes together cumulatively, but 9 years. I have a 9-year-old, a 6-year-old, a 2-year-old. And it's an incredible experience, incredible. So a lot of people ask me about how I do it. How do you manage to balance that? And so I developed a program. I developed a course for parents to get a better understanding of what goes into it. It doesn't mean you need to homeschool full time, but just how to support your children, even with homework with bits and pieces.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's been a fantastic journey that I enjoy very much.
I should have met you a bit earlier in my life so that I would learn a few things.
I always love to say it's never too late.
It's never too late. It's never too late. I'm about to have my 3 other babies, and so I guess
there you go.
So I guess it's time to learn, because I'm looking at how it's considering the day and age we're in, with how the world is teaching everyone, including us, even at our big age, we're getting influenced by things that we see around people on social media and our little networks. And so it's also very important that the foundation is built properly. Some of us, the only reason why we're not on the street twerking or doing all the things that I'm not saying, Charlie, you people who are twerking on TikTok, Charlie, twerk, I beg you, twerk away. I promise, it's probably in your destiny. I'm not against it. Do what you got to do. By all means, do what you got to do. But the only reason why we're not probably doing those things is because of the foundation we had.
Yeah.
And so maybe it's okay to do it in this season or in this age, but you're just guided by what you've been taught from the beginning and what your foundation was like. So I love that for your kids. In fact, honestly, we need more of grounded children in the world. I remember going to my son's school one time, and it was... I said my son, so it's a boy, right? And he's in that age where they're trying things. And I get to the teacher's office, and he looks at me, he's like, look at your mother. She doesn't mean like problem. Your mother has been in the industry for so long. Maintaining her time. I said, oh. And I told him that, no, I'm a woman. He's a man. So there's no comparisons here. He has his own journey he's on. Let's talk about what has happened. And let's see how we can deal with it. It's like, but the only thing I like about this boy is that he has a heart of gold. I said, does he? I guess that's mine, though. I guess that one you can attribute
that
to
one
me.
I'll claim.
I'll claim it. I gave it to him. But I think after the conversation, the teacher told me that you should be teaching in the school. You're giving these children so much grace. I think it's easy for them to breathe through their growth.
Right.
I always tell parents, especially single parents, not you people. I mean us, single parents, that Charlie, it's hard on you. Imagine how hard it is on them. It's hard on you that you're already doing this by yourself.
Yeah.
Imagine how it is for them. So give yourself grace by giving them grace. Let them go through their phase. Guide them.
Yes.
It's not easy. That thing, I learned it from some British girl. And I told her to come and live in Ghana and come and do it. But I realized that every time I've had to let my son off the hook, like, you know what, you're not supposed to be doing that. But you're a teenager, so I can pardon this, but this cannot be done this way ever again. And it's not in me yelling. I see the posture.
Right.
And it's him. It's like he exhales
Yeah.
from all of that stress of thinking to go and do that bad thing. You get it? Like, because it involves a lot of thinking.
I think it boils down to ensuring your kids grow up with high emotional intelligence. And I mean, speaking for my kids, that's one thing that they are constantly being complimented on, that, oh my goodness, your girl has such high emotional intelligence, your son has and I think those are quite great guiding principles, because sometimes you come across even adults that have zero
Zero.
emotional intelligence, and it feels unfortunate that that's something that they weren't given as a
Given.
foundation. So if that's something that you're able to impart into your kids, it helps them go an incredible long way, because of course they're gonna be kids, they're gonna make mistakes, but it gives them the opportunity to self-analyze and self-assess and think through their actions, their thoughts, and decide, is this something that I want to repeat? So I feel like homeschooling for me has really, really helped in being able to build that foundation with my kids, where you're going through certain content or material that they wouldn't get in school at all,
At all.
but you're able to take your time on some of these things. So we go through processes of, okay, anytime you need to make a decision, stop, think, is it going to be helpful? Is it something that you're going to be proud of? Is it something that you look back on and be happy with that decision? And based on the answers, then by all means make your decisions. And these are things that really build a very firm foundation for that future. So, yeah.
I'm happy for my brother. I'm really happy for Giovanni, honestly. Let's move on. This was supposed to be said in my head. I was supposed to say this in my head, I promise.
I'm sure
supposed to come out.
you'll be pleased to hear it.
Now, you describe yourself as a multi-passionate, which, by the way, if we're going to go by what I know as someone who's a passionate person, then I'd say you are.
Okay.
But then we are going to break down the multi-passionate
Okay.
down. So how did you learn to embrace all your passions without feeling the pressure to choose just one?
Okay, so first of all, I think sometimes there is a misconception that having multiple things that you enjoy doing and that you are passionate about will set you back. And I want to really dispel that idea. I am one of those people. I made a decision very early on that there are different things that I really love doing, that I'm very passionate about. And it would be such a shame to say, oh, I'm only going to pick this one thing and therefore allow it's like a garden, and decide that there's only one flower that you're going to water, that you're going to put sunlight on, and the whole rest of the garden is just going to be neglected. I said, no, I want to be able to feed all my passions and be able to feel like I'm living a very fulfilled life. So being multi-passionate and how that came about was simply making that decision that I want to nurture my entire garden.
Yes.
And then essentially pour myself into those things. It doesn't mean that I'm able to do everything at an equal level all the time. It doesn't mean that I am high with each plant every time. Some plants are low maintenance. Some plants have a season where they're high maintenance. Some plants you can leave alone for months on end and it's not going to be an issue. But being able to just say, this is my garden, there are lots of different plants in there, and I want to pour into all of them, is how I came about becoming a multi-passionate individual and being able to pour myself into all of those things.
And I say this as well before we go on the break. I think I say it a lot on a morning show, that I'll do everything I've said I want to do. Because one time I sat with a woman.
Right.
The woman is my mother.
Okay.
I sat with her and I was just teasing things out of her. You know, it's like, so what would you have done if you were not doing this? And I sat back in my car and I cried all my way to my home.
Oh.
Because I said, is it life that robbed this woman of becoming all the things that she could have done or should have been? Or it's us? Because every layer of the conversation we had, there was a point where something stopped her.
Right.
Something stopped her.
Then I had kids and I
Then
couldn't.
I had kids. And it's that kid's part that killed me. Like, oh, so we did this to our mother. Look at us, ungrateful bunch. If you don't know, you leave this woman alone. So people know that I don't play with that girl. I don't. Like, I will celebrate any opportunity I get.
So you should.
Because I feel like she just given too much. But also, I met another woman. Now, her sacrifices, my mother sacrifices, made her soft.
Okay.
And more, I didn't do all the things I want to do, but when I see my daughter, I'm happy.
Right.
I guess that's where she's at.
Right.
Then I met another woman who's very bitter.
Oh.
Very bitter. had lots of time. This is real. It's happening here. She lives in Chado now. Her family, she feels, took away from her,
Okay.
from husband to children.
Okay.
So she's personally not in a place of fulfillment, but she hates the fact that, she couldn't do all the things. She's very successful, by the way. She has a lot of money.
Okay.
But when you see the way she treats people, you can tell why. You can't do too much around her.
Yeah,
If she employs
yeah.
you too much. You're too ambitious. I don't want to become a bitter woman. So I've said this on the show, on the morning show many times, that I'll do everything I've said I want to do.
Yeah.
I want to end up in at the end of my life, sit down and be like, oh girl, you're badass. You actually did all of these things.
You did that.
So I'm not sleeping because I have to go for the things that I want. Some of them requires high maintenance.
Yeah.
Some of them are low maintenance, but I'm doing everything.
Yeah.
I even told them that I'll become a doctor. They don't know.
Well, it's never too
My name will
late.
be
Doctor.
Dr. Miriam Mensah Esquire. Yes.
That will be impressive,
And
you should totally do it if
Going
that's
for
what
it.
you want.
Well, we're going for a quick commercial break. When we come back, this exciting, calm, beautiful conversation will continue right here. We'll be right back after this. You're welcome back to the dish right here on MX24. My name is Miriam Mensah. You're welcome back. I'm excited. Like, you people don't see me like this, right? I'm always like, but today, when your big sister is in the room, when like a big sister figure, not the ones that claim they are big sisters, not the one that is. I don't talk too much, but they will put you in your place. Belinda Boadu is my guest this evening, and we're having a great conversation. I'm loving it. But before we get into the next phase of our conversation, looking for the perfect pack to keep your baby refreshed, clean, and smelling delightfully, then discover Baby Boy and Baby Girl Kits, your ultimate baby care solution. Each kit includes baby powder, cream, pomade, head to toe shampoo, and wash solution, oil, cologne, bar soap, and a bonus sponge meticulously crafted for healthy, soft baby skin. Choose blue for baby boys and pink for baby girls. Baby boy, baby girl, the GC brand, it's all about you, and make sure that baby feels safe and protected by you. Something Belinda Boadu does with distinction. She does it with ease. It's normal to her. You're welcome back. We're welcome back. So let's get back to the conversations we're having.
Certainly.
Getting to know her is absolutely, that kind of refreshing information that teaches you to just do great with yourself. Like, just be good. Like, how hard is that? Now, this part of a woman, they'll say, should come automatically because you're a woman.
Okay.
But you have turned it into a superpower, and you're operating in it. Belinda Boadu is Belinda Boadu Cooking.
Belinda Boadu Cooking.
Boadu.
Yeah.
Why do I keep it Boadu?
Yes.
Not Boadu.
Belinda Boadu might come for me if I claim her name.
Sure. Actually, there's Belinda Boadu.
Yes.
This is Boadu.
Yes.
Belinda Boadu Cooking.
Yes.
Is becoming a signature food brand. Yeah. Now, what does food represent for you beyond the kitchen?
Oh, I feel food brings people together.
Yeah.
Food is an experience. Food is nurturing. Food is a way of spreading love. So it's something that I've always done in some way, shape, or form. And then initially it was just about kind of showcasing some of the cooking. Then it became about being able to give and spread that element of me, that love element, that need to nurture element of me. So then it just turned into something a little bit more. So then people would be like, I really love hosting like little dinner parties for
Then
friends.
we should have just made this interview one of those where you're cooking for us. Producer,
Yeah,
you didn't
well,
do your due
it's
diligence. Next time I'll sue you.
it's never too late.
Yeah.
So when friends come around, it's like, oh my goodness, how did you make this? I've never tasted, I've had this dish so many times, but I've never quite tasted it like this. So then I thought, okay, well, why not open up that experience for more people who want to have it? So we developed it into a meal prep business for busy individuals who have far too much going on and therefore want to have like a month's worth of food or 2 weeks worth of food just stocked up, so it's easy to just grab that breakfast, lunch and dinner. And it's been a really lovely experience so far, just constantly receiving feedback like, oh my goodness, that was the best stew I've ever had, or being able to cook things that maybe they're not that accustomed to here in Ghana. Jerk meat pies, for example, just making dishes that are normally ordinary a little bit more extraordinary. So yeah, that's
how does it work? What you milk? Run me through how it works.
So there's different ways. You might come to me and say, listen, I have conferences that run from 8 to 8 and I can hardly breathe and I can hardly, So hook me up. So then we would take an initial profile assessment of your lifestyle, your taste, what you're trying to achieve, because sometimes it might be because you're on a particular diet or health restrictions. So then we would look at that, and either we then develop a menu that suits that, or you say, I want this, and this. And then we go about making and preparing that for you. So just depending on the individual, depending on the lifestyle, but we will always start off with a consultative process of understanding who you are, what your needs are. Sometimes it's for the family. Sometimes it's a case, I have a client where it's like, there mustn't be an onion in sight. It can be in there, but we don't want to see it, or the picky kids will not eat it. So then finding ways of building the flavor profiles without showing the onions or without having certain things be visible or off-putting for picky kids. So far, not a complaint yet from picky kids. So we must be doing something
a great
right.
job. Yeah. Okay. I see how my life is just about to get easier.
Yep.
So my younger sister came by my house, I think last weekend, because I was just coming out of, some health complications. So she came by to come and help me.
Okay.
And when she was leaving, she was like, Mimi, I can actually come by and cook.
Right.
Or just tell me what you want to eat during the week.
Make that.
And I'll make it and send it over. You don't have to, stand and cook. Honestly, you really don't have to, because everybody knows you know how to cook.
Yes.
Then I told her that I would have really loved that, because you're my little sister. I've not enjoyed you as much as everybody else. So I think this is at this age that I get to enjoy you.
Yeah.
But that's how I excel. That's how I unwind.
Yeah, for some people that is absolutely...
If I don't cook, I'll be depressed.
Yeah, no.
So I stand in the kitchen and do like 3 hours or 3 hours is too much, 2 hours of cooking.
Prepping everything.
That is how I unwind.
Do you want to hear something quite interesting though? I feel like one of a woman's biggest burden, right? And especially if you're a mom, especially even if you're a wife, is thinking about what to eat, what to prepare. And even for me, when it comes down to sort of cooking that is done as part of that profile, oh my God, what is everyone going to eat? Then it becomes very stressful. But the moment it becomes this experience of, let's experiment, let's explore, then I absolutely love it. Love it. So I feel you there.
Yeah.
I feel
yesterday I was having one of those moments where I want to go home and stand and do like 3 dishes. And I was hoping that my son likes it.
Okay.
Because I was going to try something new.
Okay.
And then I go for a meeting, and then they bring me 3 packs of food. I was like, you would just jinx it for me.
Well, in the freezer, some of the things go, I guess.
I was like, be a power in my freezer would nah. I want my food in my freezer. So I went to the house, and when I went there, he was waiting.
Okay.
And I was like, what, I brought something. It's like, you said you were going to try something. I said, yes. I said we'll try tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah.
So today is that day.
Today's that day. And then look at what kind of day I have. I told you earlier. My day is just like... Well, you often speak about the purpose and intention. I always speak about purpose and intention, and I've heard people. I mean, there is a narrative that I go by. I learned it from my best friend. She said that if you um, buy a telephone or if you buy any gadgets, when you buy these gadgets, you have a manual in it, and that manual is supposed to guide you on how to effectively use this
Right.
for it to be very productive to you. Now, when you put it on, of course, it will work if you play around a few things. But if you really want to understand the brand, you have to go to the manual.
Yeah.
And who made the manual? The producers. So you cannot live in purpose not knowing the one who created you. And so she
Yes.
thinks that your purpose is completely tied to your knowing of God.
Yes.
And I think I've gone with that for a very long time. But let's hear your perspective on, about purpose and intention. How does a person begin to live more intentionally?
Yeah, I mean, I would 100% agree with your friend.
My friend, shout
With
out to you,
regards
Cooks. That one is for you.
with regards to tapping back into your source, whom for me is very much God. A lot of people, right, are very worried that they have no clue what their purpose is in life. And I think purpose connects to two things. Number one, it connects to God. He's the only one that can really direct you to what your purpose is. But purpose also connects to service. And I think that's where a lot of people miss it. People tend to confuse talent and purpose, or skill and purpose. You can be incredibly talented in multiple things. You can be fantastic in your career, have climbed that career ladder and done phenomenal things, and that still not be in alignment with your purpose. Purpose is when you begin to make an incredible impact by way of service to others, right? And it could literally be in the fact that you're someone that people are open to come and talk to, right? And therefore, you doing that, you leaving room for that, is you walking in your purpose. It could be something like you are someone who loves to give, when people are in need, not necessarily in a major philanthropic type of way, but just you can recognize people's needs and you're able to plug into that and give diverse ways. You're a great giver when it comes to birthday gifts. You're thoughtful. All of those things can be purpose, but often people feel like, no, purpose needs to be giving me money. Purpose needs to be feeding into a talent. And there are cases where that very much is the case, where your purpose, your talent, your skills are aligned, but it's not always the same thing. So I think it takes patience and it takes time in God's word. It takes time in God's silence for him to reveal who he is to you, because by understanding him, you begin to understand yourself a lot more. And once you allow that time, of course, you don't sort of sit still and just wait for purpose to come and hit you.
No, you don't do
But
that.
you kind of start just doing the things that are innately in you, the things that you do effortlessly, the things that you are happy to do, even when you're extremely tired. Earlier on, you mentioned that you did one extremely long, tiring day, but you were totally up for it the next day, and you realize this is it.
This is it.
So you realize that your purpose is aligned in that. And your purpose might not necessarily be that whole, hey, I'm holding a microphone, but it might be in the fact that you're able to communicate effectively with people and help break down information that they are then very ready and willing to receive, so that they can then assimilate other pieces of information better. So I think coming in connection with your purpose and being able to walk in alignment with that is God, and being able to identify that service that then makes you a great citizen of God's kingdom, by way of giving, by way of providing, by way of giving out of yourself.
Yeah, and we see how that is when it comes to your story, because when we look at you, every aspect and facet of your life is speaking service, is
Yeah.
speaking impact.
Yes,
and
yes,
and we love
yes.
that. We love that. She really is a giver. Okay, she really is a giver. Now you work closely with people. Again, that's also very tied into something. Let me just jump this one quickly. Many young women look up to you. What advice do you give a woman or do you give women who feel overwhelmed by expectations yet still want to build and grow? Blown away, like close to death with expectations, like just
Yeah.
overwhelmed.
Gosh, so one of the biggest question after the question, how do you cope with your husband? Like that's number one most asked question. The
Yeah,
second,
because how do you cope with your husband? To be on a more serious note, on a more serious, before you answer this one, let's answer that one. How do you cope
a
with your
lot
husband?
of grace, a lot of
A
grace,
lot of grace, I can
a
see.
lot
Is
of
he ever
grace.
like at a point where he's like serious about anything?
Oh, he's so different at home from what he is like in
Yeah?
public. Yeah, very, very different.
Very hard.
At home, it's like he has to plug himself back into the power source to charge up again.
Oh, so he can come to.
Yes, but he wants a lot of sleep, a lot of silence around him. So it's very different.
Oh.
So finding the balance between all of that,
Goodness
yeah,
gracious.
it's grace. But when it comes to answering that for how other people can cope with overwhelming expectations, I think number one, you don't have to do everything at the same time, right? You can be all things, you can do all things, but know that there is a time and a season for everything. Handling everything all at one go because you think this is the expectation of this, that will only lead to burnout. And once you're burnt out, you have nothing more to give. So it's important to kind of come to an understanding with yourself, how you operate, how you work, what works best for you. When are you in your downtime and you simply need to kind of like take a moment to yourself and just unwind and relax and let other people understand that, listen, I need some time out. Imagine, I mean, I have three kids at home and I'm with them all the time and they're very much like, mommy, we want to be with you. They're very touchy-feely and I love that, but sometimes it's just like I need to tap out. And it's okay. I've come to a point where I've learned that it's okay for me to tell these babies that mommy needs a moment, and I will literally go into my room, close the door, lock it, take the 10 minutes I need to just find my space, my grounding again, and then we'll come back out, and then it's all back to fun and play and whatnot. And this can apply across many spectrums of your life. There are highs and lows to everything. There are times where your career is going to need you and you're really going to step into that more and maybe rely more on your village, taking over elements of the home. If it means finding that home cook service, do it, because you're too burned out to handle it. If it means getting a nanny, do it. If it means taking that break, then do it. But you need to find yourself in a position where you have poured into yourself so you're able to pour out onto others. The more you are doing everything at the same time, the more you become resentful. Right? That's definitely one of the things. And the more you don't find pleasures in the things that you thought you would find pleasure in, I'm sure every mom can relate that when they are really overwhelmed, they grow a very short fuse with the kids. Things that wouldn't get you angry, all of a sudden you're shouting at them, you're yelling at them, But if you weren't feeling that way, if you had sort of taken the time, you wouldn't have that experience. And of course, with having the short fuse comes the mum guilt. Then you're questioning yourself. It unleashes a whole series of events. So you don't have to do everything at that high level all the time. It's like that garden again. At this point in time, this flower needs my attention a lot. So I'm going to pour into that, and I'm going to help the other flowers understand that I'm going to get to them in due course. But, take your time, understand how you are built, how you work, what you need, and operate accordingly.
Absolutely. So I watched a video of Anita Ariskin.
Right.
She said, I do not juggle. And it was an eye-opener. So this one just further
buttresses the
that point that Mimi, for the past 13 years, probably was your superwoman, but
yeah,
tap out.
It's time to take it easy.
To take it slow. It's time for us to slow down. But anyway, we're going for another break. When we come back, we're going to try to wrap up this conversation because it's getting hard to wrap it up. But we're going to try. We'll be right back after this. Well, you're welcome back to the dish right here on MX24. My name is Miriam Mensah. You're welcome. My guest today is Belinda Boadu. Belinda Boadu. And she is absolutely phenomenal. I have had. See, after this, I'm going home. I'm not doing anything else. I'm going to sleep. I'm going to sleep. Because this, you know how you touch the person that you love the most and you don't want to wash your hands because that's the kind of thing that's happening. Like, I feel like if I go anywhere else, the wisdom that you've just poured into me will evaporate. So I have to go to my house. It's
Write
confined.
it all down.
Now, before we wrap up this entire conversation, what dreams or projects are you excited about in this season of your life?
Okay, so I'm excited to dive deeper into real estate element of my life. So I feel like helping people through big life decisions is very much my bag, and of course, there's nothing really that much bigger than deciding where you're going to live or where you're going to invest and so on and so forth. So that's a new sort of stepping more into that space is something that I'm very excited about. So by all means, if you're looking for that, holler at your girl. And then also, I think I mentioned earlier, I've developed a homeschooling curriculum for parents that is coming out very soon. So I'm very excited about that because I feel like there's so many incredible nuggets in there that will help any parent, or even, if you're planning to become a parent in future, to just get a thorough understanding of that whole educational system and that track, and understanding how you can best support your child in diverse ways. So super excited about that. And of course, all the projects that Atana Women does on a yearly basis, that's always exciting.
Tell me about the Atana Women project.
Oh, so Atana Enterprise is a series of communities. We have Atana Women, which comprises of Atana Moms, so everyone that's a mom, Atana Hive, everyone that's not a mom, Atana Royale, which is for when you've crossed a certain age bracket, so our aunties, our moms, and then we have Atana Men as well. So what we do is we seek to empower women across every area of life, providing them with education, with insights. Sometimes it's providing them with just a moment to breathe, some self-care. We go on retreats, we go on days out, relaxations, all sorts of things that are designed to build a person. We give you a sense of belonging, a sisterhood, a brotherhood that you can tap into. As soon as you join, you can feel the love, you can feel the connection. And then we also hold annual conferences where we bring in really amazing speakers to come and share and impact on our members. So that's what we're all about.
That's the kind of community I want to be a part of. So I'm officially a member of Atana Moms and Atana.
Yes.
Maybe I'm going to be.
I'm officially come. Our doors are open.
Yes. I love it. So, if someone wants to be a part of these communities that you've just mentioned, how do they connect?
So you can go onto our socials. So for Atana Women, it's atanawomen.com. For Atana Men, it's atanamen.com. And you can sign up for membership there. You can go onto any of our social media pages and make an inquiry there as well. So Atana Women, Atana Men. We'll be more than happy to walk you through the process. We have mentorship programs as well for younger people who wish to sort of connect and have some guidance across various industries. So anyone that's wanting more direction from that angle, that's something that we provide too. And of course, we have events that happen throughout the year. So if you don't necessarily want to be a member, but you want to participate in any of our events, whether it be the conference or whether it be our retreat, you're free to do so as well. But being a member comes with so many great benefits of sisterhood and outings and enjoyment and someone that gets you, someone that's there for you, a listening ear, all of that comes with that.
I think that we all need that now, and I've advised on this platform that we need to build an environment that enables you to grow. And so I think I want to now officially recommend Atana men and Atana women for all of you. I think that I love the sound of that, and I'm going to experience it for myself, and then come and tell you all about it. But don't let me be telling you. You should be a part of it. Also, people want to connect with you on your consultancy firm, just getting to be. And I like the curriculum for homeschooling for children, of course, for parents. How do we get a hand on that?
So, for the consultancy, it's Impart and Impact.com. If you go on to that, it can lead you onto the homeschooling, which is you have Impart and Impact, and you have Impart to Impact. That's the educational element.
Absolutely.
So if you go on the main one, it can direct you, but you can also look for Impart to Impact, and that will lead you to the education one. But when in doubt, look for me on social media, Belinda Boadu. Send me a DM, and I'll be more than happy to point you in the right direction.
Lovely. And just seize an opportunity to talk to her for a bit, okay? Once you get hold of her, just steal her little time and have a chit-chat about something you're worried about in life. And I bet you have an answer. But this has been thoroughly great a conversation. I've enjoyed it thoroughly. I do not want to end. My people are shouting in my ears like, he's okay, he's okay, he's not okay. I guess this is an opener to me just making time to come and learn.
But thank you. Welcome anytime, and the pleasure's been all mine. Thank you for having me.
You've been absolutely amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing yourself with us. You've been super generous with yourself, and so thank you. And this is what we're talking about women who keep impacting, who keep giving. Now, the blessing is that whilst they give, communities are being developed, people are learning and becoming better people, and that's your reward. And so when someone says that your reward is in heaven, yours is here, right here. You can see it. Watching, one of the things that excites me the most is just seeing people that I probably said one thing to and it's changed their lives. And you're doing more than that. You are really changing lives. And I'm so happy to meet you, humbled to be in your presence. And I pray that, this journey continues to be blessed by God. Wish you all the very best.
Thank you.
Please, also, you want to answer the other part, how I think you already answered it.
Which one's that
with Mr. Giovanni.
A lot of grace. A lot of grace.
When you see him on social media doing all his extraness, how do you feel?
I'm also his brand manager.
Well.
So a lot of what he does, a lot of what I'm behind the scenes to a lot of what we do together. So it makes it exciting.
You enjoy him.
But I provide the structure. He gets to go do all the and then I remind him, hey, we have to do this. We have a meeting. We need to go do this and this and that. So it's a beautiful experience. He's an incredible human being.
You should see her face.
Blushing. We balance each other out quite nicely.
Yeah, quite nicely. Quite nicely. Considering
yin and
yang. Who's the yang? He's the yang. You're the yin.
Whichever one.
We'll
take it.
But yeah, I love it for you. Sometimes you need a bit of spark, eh?
No, but I make him laugh a lot.
Yeah?
Yes.
Oh.
I'm the funny person at home.
Oh,
Everyone
really?
will tell you that. I'm the funny one at home. And then he steals my jokes. And then
he takes it out.
Yeah. But that's okay.
That's okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. This has been good. Now, to you out there, I keep telling you that we're learning and growing together. And I need you to take these conversations really seriously because I cannot wait to see you at the top because we're going together. We're winning or we're winning. No excuse. So my girl, get in here. If you're just joining in, you've missed a lot of conversations. But this is why technology is a good thing. Because you can go on YouTube and watch this entire conversation. It's MX24GH on all social media platforms. Keep learning and growing together. And I'll see you back again here as we do that. My name is Miriam Mensah. Have a good one.